crushed the water line. There was also some sloughing occurring on the back of the dam, but that has been stopped and repacked as of this time. We appreciate everyone's patience as we work to resolve the water situation as quickly as possible. Significant progress was made overnight with the completion of a temporary line. Engineers expect to connect to the existing line sometime today. Some important points for people to know. The Water Distribution Center is located at Friends Road and Highway 99. We are continuing to receive bottled water. It goes out as fast as it comes in, but we're on seeking donations every minute of the day. The water distribution, we do have water buffaloes also. If you're going to use a water buffalo, please bring your own containers and proof of residency. To get to the water distribution center, please come north on Russell Road to Friends Road. We want to maintain an orderly flow of traffic, so please do not enter Friends Road from Highway 99. The Osage Casino Hotel is offering free showers to residents of Hominy until May 5th. You can call 918-624-801 for a Skiatook reservation or call 539-212-6200 for a Pawhuska reservation. And the details are on our Facebook page too. We've had some questions about a recent $1 million grant that we received from the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, so I want to give you an update on that as well. We're glad to report a contractor was selected last week, and so the project is in the phases of moving forward. OWRB will be managing that project. Our current outlook for water restoration is 3 to 4 days. Once we get the water flowing normally, it will need to be treated to be safe. That process takes time to be done correctly and safely, and we appreciate everybody's patience. And we also want to thank very, very much the Tulsa Police Department Incident Management Team and Midwest City Emergency Management for their fantastic response and ongoing support throughout this incident. Finally, we'd like to sincerely thank the Osage Nation for their continued generous support and recognition of our city employees for working tirelessly to help restore water service to our city. Please continue to monitor our Facebook page for updates. And now I'd like to introduce Mayor Donnie Reed and Councilman Brandon Wallace. They have been out with the repair crew on the lines yesterday, throughout the night, and today, and they can give you more details.
So yesterday we had lost our main water feed to the city. It had come through the chute where the chute's washed out. Last night we came up with a plan to connect to an existing line that we had to drop the lake levels at the same size. So Mr. Wallace got a crew in here, and we worked through the night last night to get that line tied in. Right now they're finishing their final tie-ins on that. So we're hoping by 5, 6, 7 o'clock this evening that we are getting water flowing to the plant. So Brandon, you want to fill us in on that?
Yeah, so I just left from out there, and we have exposed the existing transite line. We have located a valve as well. We're trying to isolate the side on the lake. Because of that collapse, we're worried about water feeding into the pipe still. So for safety reasons, we're trying to isolate that valve and get any pressure that's on that side off. Crews will be, I just spoke with Pat Fisher with Builders Unlimited, and he is planning to start the tie-in around 4 to 5 o'clock this evening.
You guys got any questions?
As soon as you guys get the plant operational, how long is the process for the residents to see, the flushing and all that? I mean, what kind of timeline are we looking at?
It's going to be a slow process. Once they get tied in, we've got to open that line at a slow pace. All the water, the air that's in the lines. So it's going to take some time to get it to the plant. Once we get it to the plant, then we start treating it. Well, then once we get that water pumped up to the tanks, that's going to be a slow process as well, because we've got air in the lines. So everything's going to be a slow process. I'm hoping
3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days. So
once it starts.
That's kind of the thoughts of it.
So people will get water before it's safe to drink. They can obviously use it for other purposes. But
Yes, yes. Once we pressure those lines up, there is water in those lines, so there will be water. We did put
With precautionary,
a precautionary boil order in place, you know, so.
So you think people will have water at their tap tomorrow morning?
We're hoping so. I mean,
It's hard to say. You say yes, and then it doesn't happen. Then you know, so it's hard to say. We hope, but we're not banking on it. We're saying 3 to 4 days, hopefully.
By bringing the pressure onto the system, I mean, is there any unforeseeable things that could happen since the pressure was taken off the system, and now as you bring the pressure on
Yes.
because of older infrastructure? Just talk about that process and maybe for people to understand what it really takes to take a water system and bring it up, because people sometimes just think flip a switch and we're ready to go.
Right. So our water infrastructure is old. So you've taken the pressure off those water lines. Once you start adding that pressure back to it, we're probably going to blow some lines. The process of doing that is to open up the fire hydrants, get as much pressure off them lines. So once you get that water flowing in there, it's not a gradual hit on it. We are foreseeing probably some water lines blowing. So.
And for the public, I mean, talk about patience. I mean, I know that everybody's like, you know, I can't flush my toilet, and, you know, everybody's getting a little antsy. But, you know, if we don't do it the right way, what do you want to make sure you punch to the ears of the viewers and of the residents of Hominy,
Right.
How important it is to do it the right way?
Right. So the direction that we went, it's been a blessing. Something else that has helped us a lot. This community works together so well. We've all been here before. We all have been a part of this failing system for years, so we know how it works. I think, I don't know.
we just ask for patience, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
and understanding. We're going to have this water distribution in place for as long as it takes. We'll be out here providing water, asking for donations for bottled water, but we'll have the water buffaloes consistently full, providing that water for your dishwasher, or washing your dishes and flushing your toilets, those kinds of things. You know, you might want to boil that stuff if you're going to take a bath in it, but you know, it is there. We're going to try to distribute it as long as this process takes.
right. And there again, this is a temporary line that we're putting in. This is something to get us by until we can come up with the means and the funds to put in a new line across there. We are thinking that the way that we've done it is that we can take that new line that we're putting in, once we get that problem fixed in that chute where it tore apart, that we can cut that new line and we can move that line over, so we're not losing that money that we've spent into it. We've heard a lot about, everybody's talking about all these grants that we've got for this. We got these grants 2 years ago, 2 years ago to fix the spillway project that was handed off to engineers. We've been 2 years trying to get this project rolling. These are phone calls that happen every week trying to get this going. 2 years. I don't know how to change that process. The money is there. We have hired the people to start that process. Now we've got more problems downstream. So now we start the process again on the other half of that. So it's just a matter of trying to find the funds and the means to do it.
And with grants, you know, you have rules and regulations that you have to follow. Say we didn't follow some of those rules and regulations, there's a possibility we could lose that funding. So we want to cover all of our bases and make sure we're doing everything correctly. That way we get the repairs that we need done.
Have your state representatives that represent this area reached out to you guys? Anybody on high is trying to offer help?
Diane, you want to step on that?
We've not heard from state representatives, but this has just occurred in the last couple of days. There hadn't been a lot of time, I think, for that kind of thing to happen. I will say who has reached out to us is the Osage Nation, which for us is not unusual. Anytime something happens around here, we hear from them. So we are so grateful for partnerships we have with them. But we're happy to talk to anybody who might have a means to help us out.
And this whole process has happened fast. This happened 2 days ago, so all this has happened in 2 days. And that in itself, happening this quick, has been a blessing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people involved, and we're just blessed.
Yeah.
This is to remind everybody, this is from all the floodwaters and that crazy rains that we dealt with. I mean, this is a Mother Nature kind of incident.
Yes, so the spillway on the lake, it had started eroding years ago. Like I said, we had got a grant to fix the top half of the grant, or the top half of the spillway. But where this water line is located is on the lower half of that spillway. Well, that water had gotten under that lower half and it just turned it up. When it done that, it rolled that concrete, busted that line in half.
And,
So-
and I'm sorry, if I could speak to one more thing. A couple of years ago, a siphon was installed as part of this ongoing project to begin to repair that spillway chute. The idea being that we keep the lake at a certain level below the spillway so that chute stayed dry enough for when they came in to start working. We had that siphon open full force. Oh gosh, it was open 2 days before the rain started, and we had the water below, but the rains just came and there was so much volume, and the siphon remained open, and even with that, the water still just cascaded over the spillway. So I know some folks were asking about that, and it's been open and running.
Right.
And this is one of those situations you consider an act of God. 10 inches of rain in a couple of days, it's hard to deal with for any city. And like I said, like Donnie said, we're just lucky that everybody's come together and made this happen the way it has. A lot of times it doesn't happen like this, but with the dedication of the mayor and the city workers and everything, it's impressive to see what's happened in these last 24 or 48 hours.
And if I could, there's another integral part to this team, and it's Felix Nance, our Emergency Management Director.
Good afternoon. I can, reiterate the water distribution for you. We are doing that over on right across Bridge Road at about 3rd Street off Highway 99. Again, we ask the residents to approach from the south. It's narrow residential streets, gets clogged up. We will continue to distribute water until we get good quality potable water back to the homes. We anticipate, this is where I'm going to deviate from them. They're saying, we maybe get water flow tomorrow. We're planning in case we don't. So it's one of those cases where emergency management plans for the worst case scenario and hopes for the best. Thanks to this team over here from the IMT, they've helped us plan, I think, for the absolute worst case scenario we could have gotten into. And some of the things weren't as bad as we feared, and some of them caught us by surprise, but we quickly were able to get a handle on them thanks to their organizational skills and make things move along at a rapid pace. I believe most of you were up at the distribution point earlier today and saw that. That's been a very smooth process. Thanks to Oklahoma Emergency Management for helping us gather water buffaloes and get them into town. The EM community's tight. We work together. You've got stuff up there from Okmulgee County, Payne County, as well as Pawnee County. So we brought stuff in from out of town to support us. We work together. We all have the same common goal. We're going to take care of our citizens. That's the big mission. We'll take care of the citizens first and figure out after the situation's resolved how to pay the bills. They all get paid. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but we've got to take care of the citizens first. You can live without electricity for a few days. Water you can't. So this is a critical infrastructure, critical life situation, and we're working as rapidly as possible to restore normal service. I mentioned earlier today a safety issue, and that is people with hot water tanks. If you have a hot water tank, you may want to shut it off. Electric tanks, if they boil dry, the elements will burn out. If you've got a gas tank and it boils dry, you could burn a hole in the bottom of it. So, it's a habit. You go turn the water on, you go to the toilet, oh yeah, there's no water. So it's one of those things you never think about, but it's one of the hidden dangers of no water. The other thing I would encourage is, because it's going to happen again, floods and high water events happen everywhere. Turn around, don't drown. Don't let the kids play in bar ditches and flowing water. We don't need any of them swept away. So So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I will tell you that as of about 2 o'clock, we had distributed, I believe, 12 pallets of water in the last day and a half, and we have more coming. So we're planning ahead, but it's a good process, and we're getting through it. So we just ask the citizens to be patient. I know it's frustrating. I have the same problems they do, but support us, and we will all get through this together. I'd be happy to answer the questions any of you have.
If there's some elderly folks that may not be as mobile to get out and they're looking for water or some help, is there any help available for the elderly?
Yes, absolutely. The nation's elderly crew has been working it. Our senior citizens people have been working it, and they're seeing that those people are taken care of. Again, small knit community. Guy shows up and says, "I'm taking care of my grandma, my neighbor." We know that, and yes, we ask them to bring ID. Small community. We spend more time visiting than we do checking IDs. We know everybody. So that's the beauty of a small community. Diana, I'll let you close up.
Gee, thanks, Felix. Again, we can't emphasize enough how much we appreciate everybody's patience. This is a difficult situation for everyone. It doesn't seem like it moves fast, I know, but it is moving quite fast. And we hope that trend continues. If it doesn't, we'll deal with it, and we will keep you informed as best we can. So again, I think that's all we have, and appreciate you all coming. Okay. Okay. So I gotta ask you guys, are you able